I'm sat here on what was meant to be day 5 of the Delhi test, still in shock about Australia's incredible collapse on day 3 at Delhi to hand the Border Gavaskar Trophy, well, to keep it in India. Really, we haven't had it for 10 years. And I'm just sitting here wondering how the team could get it so wrong. Australia could have cleaned my entire neighbourhood in 15 minutes with all that sweeping. We could all see it. The Indians can see it. It's an absolute mystery why Australia thought that every player should go out there and try sweep the ball. India are one of our key rivals, and Australia have just been handing victories to them when we've been on top in a number of test matches over the past 10 years. Since the midway point of the 2014-15 series, Australia have just won 3 of 16 test matches against India, both home and away. India are our daddies. That's the fact. I hate to say it, but it's the fact. For me, the team has lost the series even before they've stepped out on the field. There was a lot of media hype about the pitches. There's been absolutely nothing wrong with the surfaces. Both pitches have been awesome. I'd rather see pitches like that. They've got something in it for everybody instead of flat featherbeds that we've seen in Test cricket, especially in the 21st century. India continued to win the big moments against Australia, and in this video I'll pinpoint 3 key reasons as to why they continue to do it. Number 1, India see adversity as an opportunity. Australia look at it in the opposite way. Think about the 2020-2021 series. India were rolled for 36. They have a number of injuries. They've been in Australia for a long time in the COVID bubble. Virat Kohli's gone home. What do? They change their mindset that they can bounce back from 36. They field a bowling attack at the Gabba with 5 test matches between them, and they still win. They had to chase over 300 at the Gabba. They still win. They know that Australia haven't lost at the Gabba since the 1980s, but they see themselves as the record breakers. Compare that to Australia. They come to India and they're so very worried about the pitch under their feet. You see a lot of media hype about the pitches even before a ball is bowled. Now, whether that got into the team's head, that's cause for debate. But there is no doubt that the players' minds are muddled by what's underneath their feet instead of what's coming out of the bowler's hand. And that goes to show with Australia's approach. They're trying things they're not comfortable with. This team is not filled with specialist sweepers, and yet they tried to sweep after failing to defend at Nagpur. Instead of trying to fix the way they defend, they completely go away from defence. At Nagpur, they got stuck on the crease. Instead of focusing on using their feet better, they tried to do something completely different, and the players were just not comfortable with it at all. Yes, they've been tricky surfaces, and yes, you're up against some of the best spinners in the history of Test cricket. No doubt about it. Jadeja and Ashwin is arguably the best spinning duo that India have ever produced, playing together at the same time. But when you get the chance to bat first, you have the opportunity to put India under severe pressure, and that's where Australia failed. Australia completely panicked, especially in the Delhi test, when an opportunity for victory, 60 in front with 9 wickets in hand at the end of day 2. An opportunity to win a test match. Number 2, India's trust in their skills to produce the match-changing performances. Talking about playing to your strengths, do you see Cheteshwar Pujara here in Australia playing the big shots? No. He's the guy that occupies the crease. He plays to his strengths. He knows what he is good at. Australia, on the other hand, you've got blokes like Steve Smith, who was outstanding in 2017, looking to play a sweep shot they're not comfortable with. If you're going to win in India, you have to do the little things well. First of all, you have to have the belief, which Australia unfortunately have not had. And second of all, you've got to do the little things really well. Your footwork has to be on point. Focus on getting down the wicket as much as you can. Australia did a bit of that in the first innings, then completely went away from it in the second innings when the pitch was more up and down. It just made no sense. Number 3, unfortunately, Australia are just not willing to stay in the fight as long as India are. India get in and they dig in and they can bat for long periods, and that applies even for the lower order, especially the lower order in recent times for the Indians. They've had their issues with the top 6, and that represents another opportunity for Australia, by the way. One thing I absolutely hate hearing is that excuse of, oh, I expect to have 1 ball with my name on it, so I'm just going to try and hit out and get as many as I can before that happens. Again, it comes back to the mindset. It comes back to the mindset. Australia have been beaten before a ball is bowled because they're thinking, I don't know if I can last long enough here. Good performance starts in the mind. If the mindset is wrong, the performances are going to follow. Please subscribe to our channel. Check out some of the other content that we've done with my co-host Nash throughout the test matches so far. And we look forward to seeing you guys for the third test in indoor. You can also check out the Crit Blog podcast. The links are in the description. Have a listen. Thanks for watching. And hopefully Australia can bounce back and get something out of this series, but it's looking like 4-0, isn't it?